Hi, I'm Chad Muth with Muth and Company Roofing. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about how insulation, ventilation, and your roofing system goes hand in hand. People ask all the time, why do you do insulation? Well, I'll tell you why. Insulation is hugely important to your house, but it can actually be devastating if it's not done correctly. One of the things that we've found is insulation works great when it's combined with the ventilation in your roofing system. Most people don't realize it, but once that hot air leaves your house and gets into your attic, it can do nothing but damage if it's not addressed properly. You want a great intake ventilation that allows cool air to come in. You want to have baffles so that the insulation doesn't fall over top. And then you want to have 15, 18 inches of insulation inside your attic. By combining all three of these, it allows you to have a great ventilation system and a great insulation system. So why should you use a roofing company instead of an insulation company? Well, the insulation company obviously is concerned about how much insulation you have in your house. A roofing company is concerned about how much insulation you have in your house. Do you have proper baffles installed so you don't block your intake ventilation? And also how the overall attic space is working in conjunction with your insulation. And a lot of roofers will take the time to look at all of that. When we inspect attic spaces, we find that most people have less than 6 inches of insulation. If you use the theory of 2.7 R value per inch, you're barely meeting codes, and in most times you're not. What we recommend is 15 plus inches, which will get you an R30 plus in your attic, which is exactly what you should have in our region. We place measuring sticks, cardboard measuring sticks, all the way around the attic before we start. That way, when we proceed with blowing the insulation in, we make sure we get a nice, consistent insulation pattern all the way through your attic. For instance, if we want 15 inches, we put all the sticks in. We just make sure we blow everything at 15 inches. So why would you use a professional to install your insulation? Well, number one, I think safety. You go up into the attic, you want to make sure that you have the proper equipment on. You want to make sure that you maybe have a mask on. You want to make sure that you're properly dressed so that you don't get the insulation all over you or you're not inhaling the insulation. The other reason is obviously safety. You don't want to fall through your ceiling and end up in your family room. And third, I think it's making sure that you get the proper amount of R value inside your attic space. Department of Energy, for instance, recommends an R49. Depending upon where you're at, there's different zones. You could be an R30, you could be an R36 or 38, and you just want to make sure that in your region that you hit at least the bare minimum, and we always try and find a happy median between your minimum code requirements and the Department of Energy recommendations. And that, my friends, is why we got into insulation.